Hi, welcome to Forgotten Legends of Sound, and today is actually my pick. We are going to listen to this album, Vanden Plas, Christ Zero. We're going to rate it, talk about it, and just generally have a good time with it. And, it's an album that I've been wanting to do for a while, even before the channel was created. I think over the past, close to 20 years that we've been listening to Vanden Plas, it's been the kind of band that they started off as like my 10th favorite prog metal band. Then they went to like 9. Then they went to 8, and now they're like they're
top 3 or something.
Yeah, they're my second favorite, I would say. Yeah, and because in the 2010s, I really got into the Seraphic Clockwork, really got into the Chronicles of the Immortals albums, and I felt like a lot of like prog metal bands were kind of faltering a bit during the 2010s, and then Vanden Plas was just holding strong, kind of thing, and. This is the first album that I got into them, and I remember getting into them basically, like, I can't remember exactly how I got into them. I just remember hearing people talk about 2006 releases, prog metal, whatever, because I would visit different prog metal websites and stuff, read information, and so this is the first album that I got into, and It was kind of a sleeper hit, honestly. It was kind of a sleeper album.
Not super flashy right away.
Not super flashy, it just... And at this time, too, we were really into a lot of the power metal, really into, a bunch of other stuff. And so, not a very flashy band, but they just... I don't know, there's something about this band that just really grew for me, you know? And so, I'm excited to do this album because this is my favorite album from them, But it's just... like, I don't know. I just don't think Vanden Plas gets enough love.
Credit,
and I'm really bummed out that like Gunter Verno is like no longer the keyboardist or whatever for the band. And I don't know. They are coming out with a new album too. Like, I think so. Like either I think this soon. Soon.
I think they even released a single already or something.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And so anyways, I think they've gotten more recognition over the years. But I still feel like they're a little bit underappreciated. Yeah. So that's kind of my background with Vanden Plas. And but yeah.
So my background is like a week ago. Kevin was like, "Here, take this band." No, I remember when this album like came out. I guess there was like a video. It was like a video that they made, kind of a promotional video, and it had little snippets play from the album.
I think you're right.
And you were showing me that video, and I was like, "Yeah, this does sound pretty good." So then we went to back in Tampa, Florida. We went to Sound Exchange, and then I think they either had it or you ordered it or something. But we picked up that. Oh, man. I don't remember what else we picked up, but I remember around that time we were just really into that. We were really into like Blind Guardian's new album that came out.
Yeah, Twist and
we were in
like also
for some reason I think that was kind of like 2006. I think those were kind of significant releases that I remember. Then I don't know,
but we were still kind of going off of the 2005 high too, because we were listening to Character, we were listening to Black Halo.
Yeah,
like there were
There's Lies,
a lot of but. Yeah, I remember that video, that promotional kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
it was kind of an exciting time because I felt like bands that we really enjoyed were still making stellar records at that time. So anytime they're coming out with a new record, you still, like nowadays, like in the last 10 years, nowadays I always have such apprehension because so many bands, some of their best work is already kind of behind them,
Right,
Not as a slight to like all musicians or anything.
Sure.
But, it's just kind of like it's hard for a band to stay at that level for such a long time to make amazing records for a decade. Like Blind Guardian is probably one band that can stay at that high level, but very few are able to do that. I kind of feel like Vanden Plas is a band that, like, they're not super flashy. They are a band that I feel like I have to listen to over and over and over again. Right. And then the songs sort of creep into me silently.
Yeah.
And
in my heart and soul.
In my heart and soul. And then I'm kind of like, man, this is so sick. It's kind of like a slow burn band for me, especially because they're not super like focused on very like, my ear is like attuned to very like catchy or kind of sing-songy kind of stuff in a certain way. And for them, a lot of their albums I feel like are very lyrical albums too. Yeah. So it's kind of like if you don't really know the lyrics, you're not really getting the full impact of when Andy Kuntz sings this note in this song or whatever, because they're very theatrical. Like they're saying they have some kind of special meaning or some story to tell. And if you're only listening to music, you're almost missing a part of what makes Vanden Plas such a good band.
Agreed,
so
yeah.
I like them. I think they're really cool. I get why you love them so much too, and
yeah.
I think they're really underappreciated.
I did want to add something really quick also. I think all of these musicians, they're very into their craft. I remember seeing a video on, it's like from 2008 or 2009. It was like a live performance in Germany or whatever, of like the Vanden Plas guys doing this whole off-Broadway, whatever musical thing in Germany that had a bunch of Vanden Plas songs, but it was like kind of following the whole Count of Monte Christo story or whatever. And I remember seeing this live, and they had a bunch of other like actor people singing parts and everything. And I was like, dude, this is really cool that this band is like so into the theater, so into, giving off performances or whatever, And even back then I would think like, man, it would be cool. Like, Arion, the Human Equation, they did that whole live, the live equation or whatever,
It took them a long time to do it.
Yeah. It took a while, but it's like some of these albums and some of these stories from a lot of metal bands for the past like 40, 50 years. I'm like, dude, yeah, I could totally see, musicals and all sorts of productions being made to tell all these stories. Yeah. And that's where I want to transition with this album. It is a concept album. It is based off of the whole Alexander Dumas, Count of Monte Cristo or whatever. I'm not sure exactly like how literal it follows it. I've never read the book, It does feel...
I watched the movie.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jim Caviezel is just freaking rocking.
It does feel a bit more like a reimagining or something, but someone who knows more can explain a little more. But yeah, we are going to go through each song and rate them. But before I do that, I want to read out of the booklet just this sort of introduction. It kind of sets the mood and everything for what we're getting into. Story time. So, all right. A look into the mind of a serial killer. Search deeply and discover the calculated logic behind a seeming act of madness. The flooding tide of vengeance and pain overflowing the dry riverbed of a soul devoid of love, faith, and goodness. Passionate hate replacing passionate love. Contrasts of opposing forces which flow unceasingly into one another until they merge as one. The question arises, can there be madness without logic, passion without plan, darkness without light, and when evil is avenged, when the murderer is condemned to death for his crime, is not the judge himself a killer? Is there good without evil? Inspired by Edmond Dantes in Alexander Dumas' classic, The Count of Monte Cristo, Christ Zero is a terrifying and futile journey into the soul of an innocent man wronged beyond his ability to forgive. A soul so torn by the loss of his beloved and betrayal by those he called his friends that there can be no healing. Instead, there is an open wound through which hope, love, and faith slowly seep out, leaving only a reckoning thirst for atonement and severing his connection to the goodness of God. Christ Zero, no Christ, godless. The rusting hulk of an old cruise ship provides tantalizing clues to the identity of a mass murderer. Inspector X from Interpol, long on the trail of this shadowy killer, finds a crazed and horrifying log of events, like an endless canon of prayers, scratched in blood-flecked prose over a period of years into the iron skeleton of the formerly proud ocean liner. Once filled with excitement and a hunger for life, the decaying remnants house within the mantra-like writings memories of a macabre and chillingly methodical exercise in killing and an insatiable hunger for death. As Inspector X reads, he is struck with the calculated brilliance with which the crimes are executed, a brilliance which reflects the genius of his own deductive skills. Each step of his inquiry leads Inspector X further along on a journey through the life of a young man who loses his honor, his freedom, and the woman he loves at the hands of men he thought to be his friends. Wrongly implicated in a crime he did not commit, he is convicted, sentenced, and thrown into a dungeon to be forgotten. The calculated cruelty of his captors keeps him barely alive for years, deprived of every human comfort and with no chance of rescue, while his accusers live freely and richly at his expense. In the dark, hopeless despair of captivity, Christ Zero begins to adapt to his surroundings. Light, hope, and love have been forever smothered. Darkness, pain, and suffering become his familiar friends. As his own alter ego, Zero can survive his misery without going mad. The loss is his humanity. Kind of a mouthful. When at last he finds a way of escape and flees his living hell, Christ Zero finds comfort and security in the black recesses of a cave. There he can nurture the seeds of evil that were planted in the years of his imprisonment. Physically, at least, Zero has survived, but he is now a man so tortured that nothing remains except a mechanical shell of being, devoid of all feelings that make him human, save a passionate hatred against those who wronged him. He is a thing with an inexorable desire for vengeance, a thing with a merciless determination to kill. A horde of old horror movies which he endlessly watches provides him with his only companionship, and Cry Zero begins to commune with the shadow world between reality and fantasy. He sees the ghosts of the movie characters around him and finds he can join them in their world, becoming a shadow of himself and melding into the darkness that is no longer just a hiding place, but also his home. In the midst of this diary etched in steel, Inspector X finds a message that seems to have been written for him alone, the lines of an old prayer, now obscure but well known to X since childhood. In it, X senses he has discovered the key to the final riddle. As he slowly unravels the last clues and closes in on his prey, he finds himself immersed in the netherworld, a shadowland of his own buried past. His search for Zero leads him inescapably into a journey of self-discovery in which he ultimately meets himself with shocking clarity.
Mm-hmm.
A little cryptic, cryptic and everything. And that's why I kind of view this as a reimagining kind of thing, not like a direct...
Loose concept kind of
thing.
loose
concept kind of...
It does seem kind of like... I think the Count of Monte Cristo book is more brutal compared to the movie.
Right, yeah.
From what I've heard online, I don't know for sure. But I think the movie has this happy ending. He gets revenge, but he still gets the girl and stuff. Yeah. Whereas I think in the book... He kills them all. I think he kills the girl, kills the guy, kills everybody, and he's just like... So I wonder if maybe this is more along that path. But it is an interesting concept of can somebody who's been tortured and hurt so much, can they even be redeemed if the only thing they feel now is such revenge and destruction and whatever, It's something for the philosophers to talk about, especially when kids and stuff are raised to be murderers or, in crime and stuff. It's, kind of a tough thing to,
It is interesting that, when so much, evil and deplorable actions occur, it gets to a point where it's good is just not possible anymore. It's just, it's not possible. So, it'll be interesting as we go through this album and,
and then inside I'm kind of I want him to have the good ending where he's just you didn't think I'd make it that easy for you, did I? The other guy gets to go to the chateau and and then they get to run off in the end and but it'll be good it's been a long time since I've gone through the lyrics with this album or anything like that, so I think it'll be fun to do that today.
You, me, and Chad went through these lyrics maybe 3 years ago, or something. So it, within the past 5 years.
Yeah.
But even then, it's nice to have a refresher.
Yeah. That's true. Cool. You ready for Cry Zero?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Cool.
Man.
Track 1, Cry Zero.
Cries. Yeah. Zero. I like the tone of a lot of this album and stuff.
Yeah. This I love this album. It's really good. Little timpani action going there.
Oh man.
Whoa, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that song a freaking 10, dude. I think this is a fantastic opener. It's the opening of admitting that, hey, I choose a path of unforgiveness. I choose a path of death and whatever. And like I'm alive now. This is my new life. This is such a fantastic intro song. I think Stefan and Andreas Lill, both of them, the guitars and the drums are just fantastic. I love during that whole then there's that open hi-hat and everything. You know, like it's so compact, so just well done. It's interesting. It's not run of the mill. That's the one thing I do remember first hearing this song back in 2006 and feeling that like this was one of the songs that I've always loved.
Yeah,
it's fresh, it's great. Andy Kuntz does a great job with the vocal lines. Just great.
I'm giving it 10 too. It's a fantastic opener. Some lines gave me chills, because the thing is like sometimes with like metal music and whatnot, sometimes you have sort of like Death and Destruction being kind of more like a, oh yeah, brutal, heavy, whatever. And then sometimes like in this, it almost seems like it's meant to make you shiver or meant to make you pause and think about it instead, And that's one thing I like about this song is it's kind of like, it's like kind of a dark entry into this dark character's like thoughts or whatever, and you're kind of just like, it's meant to make you pause and be kind of like, whoa, man, like
you like that dancing and
I like that. I was gonna read that, yeah. And that part where he says like he says, give me your heart, give me your soul, can you give me your life, then I take it away, breaking in two and dancing in enemy else's blood, pouring down on me like rain, and it's just like the thing is like because he's so like operatic, I guess, like in his approach and whatnot, the way it builds into the chorus where he's just like pouring down on me like rain, there are the like it's just very it's very like forlorn, like I've already been like cast into the abyss kind of thing, and it's just like I don't know. I think those lyrics are really awesome. Like I think about like Slayer, like Rain and Blood and stuff, and it's like this is cool, like heavy, from a lacerated sky, screaming in hard,
right?
I Rain and Blood, but that's more like pump up, heavy. And this seems a little bit more like
theatrical,
but also kind of sad in a way. Like it's I don't know, like this. It's like it feels like impending danger. That's what the song kind of feels like to me, and that's just kind of cool. It's cool that they did that. And the song's just dope and
great solo section. And I love like so Vanden Plas to me, like they've got their albums where there's like less choirs, less in the 2010s they have a lot more choirs, a lot more, and I feel like this album is kind of the first in that kind of post Beyond Daylight stuff. And I love the God thing. I love Beyond Daylight and everything, but it's like all of the 90s Vanden Plas and everything was
definitely not as
theatrical. And I love the backing vocals, just I'm alive, I know we'll meet again, cry zero. It's so triumphant and everything, just superb.
Really dope. You ready for track 2?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Postcard to God. Here we go. Let's see what he's up to now.
All right, bro.
Alrighty.
What do you think?
I'm giving that one a 10. I've enjoyed it since it came out. Just an awesome song. And I like the lyrics too. I think the lyrics are freaking awesome. Especially the line here. He says, and now you buy me roses and some needless little things. You send me a song in a tune that no one sings. You know, man, I'll just finish it. I'm longing for these memories. They keep me warm and safe. You throw them in my grave. You know, I like how the way he sings and whatnot. He just really builds these songs really freaking well. Like he's very expressive in the way that he's singing and stuff. And it really kind of gets to me, you know. I think that's awesome. In that part, it's kind of like, you know, I was basically like, trying to harvest something good in my life or something, but instead you just threw everything, all my memories and things into a grave, you know? And I'm trying not to get emotional or whatever, but like some of these themes of like, one thing that's so evil about injustice or whatever is when you hurt someone that's innocent, you're not just like inflicting pain on them or whatever, you know? You're throwing all the things that they loved and cherished and whatnot in a freaking unmarked grave or whatever, you know? And I don't know. It's kind of you're introducing them to darkness in the world and pain and whatnot that they wouldn't have. You know, it's not just the injustice. It's the damage and like that's inflicted. I'm not saying that it can't be like changed or whatever. This guy's kind of like all in. Like he's not really like trying to be rehabilitated or anything like that or anything. But I don't know. It still is kind of a brutal, like I said, with like, you know, metal and stuff. Metal usually deals with very tough topics and whatnot.
Right.
And sometimes in stories and whatnot, you can deal with certain themes and whatnot that, you know, might have a greater impact telling it in a story rather than just saying what it is, you know? Like sometimes ideas can have much more of an emotional impact when told in a story. And I think Christ Zero does that really well. So that should have been my closing thoughts for the album, you know. So but.
I'm gonna give it a 10 also for this song. I think that, you know, the thing is like, you know, when I was getting into like Operation Mindcrime, you know, I love that they take the story and they take all the material and treat it seriously. I like how serious they take it. I get the same vibes here where it's like murder, violence, whatever. It's taken all very seriously instead of like, you know, pummel them all, killing everybody. And you sort of get a feeling like, oh yeah, they're just blabbering about whatever. Like, you know, but like there's something about this album that just feels a little, it's funny because it's not like heavy, like black metal, death metal. It's not like heavy per se, but it's thematically heavy, if that makes sense, you know? And I just feel like they do a good job with the lyrics and I like the, so I guess I'll put it this way, the self-realization that like I am in the process of destroying my identity. I love dealing with themes like that of destroying your identity and taking upon yourself a new identity and everything. And I just, you know, I like the reflection. I like the thinking back of like, you know, would have beens, could have beens or whatever. Now my focus is, you know, killing and whatever. It just, like I said, I feel like it takes the material and treats it like more seriously, and I appreciate that. You know,
and it's not to say that light or more fun material that has its place in life,
sure,
or media, and that's enjoyable too. But the difference between the Lord of the Rings versus the Hobbit trilogy or whatever, Lord of the Rings, it feels like Peter Jackson really took it seriously because when they're talking about like the crisis they're in and like we gotta get this to freaking Mordor, and you know everybody's like serious, everyone's taking it seriously, everyone has their fears and whatnot. And, you know, freaking they're kicking things and breaking their toes, you know, like it's just taken seriously whereas The Hobbit is like trying to cater towards my kids and they're like, adventure time and, you know, run from the Goblin King. And, you know, it's just very like, it's like not taken as seriously. It's more like, let's just create a fun movie or trilogy or whatever. And I love when bands also, like, I'm kind of just saying what you said, but I love when bands take things really seriously because then you could kind of like, think of things or even in a fantasy element like Lord of the Rings, you could still derive messages or meaning from something like that, and I think that's pretty cool.
I thought Torsten Reichert, I thought Torsten did a great job on bass, and of course Andy Kuntz. Like my favorite parts in this song is the verse section, the way it's just plodding along, and he's almost kind of just talking to you and explaining his thoughts and you know whatever. It's just very Torsten Reichert. And so anyways, yeah, just a great song, but yeah, not much more to add. I do like the chorus in track 1 more than the chorus in this one.
Yeah,
but I love the talking part in this one, and I love the way it moves and everything. You know?
Yeah, me too.
So,
yeah, great song. You ready for "Wish You Were Here"?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty, here we go.
And I wish you fair, and that you're rotting here in hell instead of me.
This might be a song that maybe it'll be higher with the lyrics for me, you know, because it's one of my least favorites on the album. But
we'll see.
We'll see, you know. You might have told me
But I think you're right. I'm like 70-80% sure this is all because these two characters are linked together, and I'm not sure exactly. Like they insinuate it that they're linked, but I'm not sure exactly how.
Yeah.
So it makes you think that X also has some kind of evil something in his life too, or something. And
Or what if Mr. X, he like doesn't like the carnage that this dude's inflicting or something, and it affects him that way. This is usually the part that loses me.
See, I forgot about the whole ghost ship and him finding all the right pieces, because it's like everything's already been committed, and he just stumbles across this whole story. Yeah.
And in some ways, this dude doesn't know why these dudes are those people. So in a way, he's like more victim to and then he finds the truth and he's like, case closed. Oh, well, I guess I'll accept it. like how he's like saying all these different stories and stuff. And like, I don't like any of these. Yeah. Trying to figure out what that'll happen. Wild. What do you say, bro?
Oh man, so I oscillate sometimes with this song between a 9.5 and a 10. It really kind of depends on like how I'm feeling and everything. I'm a lot more immersed, because we got the lyrics and everything, So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 10. I do think that this is a phenomenal song. I like the way that it just moves from part to part, and it just every time he's saying like I wish you were here and everything. I don't fully understand the connection between 0 and X and everything. And so I feel like there are some messages and things that could probably be interpreted in many different ways of like a taunt to the inspector or not, I wish you were here. But then also like just 0 saying, I wish you were the ones suffering and everything. Like, I feel like it's not a very clear message, you know, and I'm not going to sit here and claim that like, oh, this is what this means, this is what that means and everything. This is just my impressions, Yeah. But as this guy's, in this freaking, ship, finding all this information out and everything, I like it because it feels like just this portal into hell or something, and I love
Hell portal.
Yeah, hell portal. And, but sometimes I do think that sometimes towards the end, I do feel like it drags on a little bit, But then, like, the other day, like, I listened to this album about a week ago when I was at work, and I was just thinking, like...
Oh, a week ago? I listened like 4 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, good for you, But, like, I was just thinking, like, man, like, I kind of like that... Because it feels like a bit of a triumphant ending, but not in a triumph as a hooray, but almost like applauding kind of in the murders continue and it's a good riff, it's a good and so like I said, I go back and forth, but what do you think? Beautify the spider's home.
I give.
What was that?
I give it a 7.5.
The second half for you, right?
Yeah, like the first couple minutes, I'm like into it. The song is like 9 minutes long, and it is cool, and I like the chorus. But I agree, it is kind of confusing as far as like I don't know if the chorus is like 0 and the Professor X or Inspector X or whatever.
Yeah, I don't freaking mind crime.
Yeah. Whoops. I don't know if it's being like. If you're meant to see it as like both of them saying that in some ways, I don't really know. I can't really tell. But I don't know, like some of the sort of like groovy kind of that doesn't do as much for me. The song is just too long. It's a great song, but I like some other tracks on it much more.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I already know what we're doing this next song. So.
Yeah, I love Silently. Silently is my favorite on the album.
Yeah, so. Silently is freaking dope.
Let's freaking do it.
All right, here is track 4, Silently. And this song's almost as long as that last one, but this one, I never feel the weight of it. I never feel the length. I'm always like immersed throughout it,
Yeah, this one's really sad too. So I love it.
Yeah, it's got that sad one. I dig it. plucky. The song's a little plucky.
40 nights ago.
Now it's my turn, huh?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I'm giving this one a 10. One thing that's interesting about, or we already put 10.
Yeah.
One thing that's interesting about this song is like the first few songs are a little bit more like chill, I guess, in the verse section, quieter, kind of brooding, and then they kind of build up and rock out in the choruses. This song is the exact opposite, you know. The chorus is more like softer or whatever, you know, silently until he starts rocking out or whatever, you know. It's almost like a little
Reverse.
I don't know. Yeah, well, reverse, but also I'm trying to think of kind of a way to explain it. It almost seems I can't find the word. I don't know, but it seems very like abrupt, and then it just goes into the you know, like it's I don't know. There is kind of a menacing vibe, but there's also kind of a sort of beautiful-ish vibe, or like. Just that piano melody, like it's kind of somber, but also I don't know, and that solo at the end is freaking sick. So
yeah,
I don't know, great song.
I freaking love this song, man. I'm gonna give it a 10 also. The thing too is, you know, we've been into a lot of this music, you know, 20, 25 years or so, you know, and it was common for us to be into the kind of music that we were the only kid in our high school. You'd got hundreds of kids there or whatever. We were the only kid in that high school who liked any of this stuff or listened to it or whatever.
That we knew of, at least.
Yeah, and just the piano melody and everything. There's something really connecting with this song. I've always loved just that I don't know, that remembrance of dun, 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 coming back again and again and again. And every time they go into the chorus with him singing silently, you know, it just, man, it's such a beautiful song, you know. And I just, it sounds strange, but it's like musically, it's a very connecting song for me personally. I just connect with the lyrics. I kind of reinterpret them into different parts of my life and everything. And it's more of a feeling kind of thing, but it's just, this song means a lot to me and I can't quite explain why, but there's just,
a lot of memories.
Know. Yeah. Like in the context of this album and everything, I love the whole like silently let murder enter my heart and everything, you know, and all these like darker things and everything. But it's like, you know, in my own personal life and everything, I don't know, it's a bit of a song that when I listen to, especially when I'm like alone or at night or whatever, there's something that connects on a personal level with this, you know. And I just love when he's like, you know, here I play, capture time, try to understand and everything. It's just, oh man, I freaking love this song, you know. And then when in the end, when he's like, and all my love is gone and everything, it just, yeah, freaking awesome.
Pretty good.
I don't know who Depedu is. You know, I don't know the translation. En Sonam, you know, implies that all the gods are gone. But like, man, it just, I don't know. It's a great song.
Yeah, really good song. You ready for Shadow I Am?
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't really do justice on Silently for explaining why it's so dope, but I mean, you guys were there. You know how dope it was. So
I think, honestly, a lot of the crash cymbal placements and stuff, I think the drums are really good. You know, there's parts when it's just like, you know, it just, these placements for the snare hits and the crash hits and everything. It just, he did a really good job.
It's not just the ones that he hit, it was the
and
ones
the one that he didn't hit, you know, because obviously, you know, what makes you a good musician is what you don't play.
Well, you don't play.
I already knew you were joking. I already knew.
So funny. I love that whole like thing.
But,
you guys may not understand what we're saying, but that's okay. Like
you're just hanging out.
You're just hanging out. Yeah.
You know,
it's not the notes you play; it's the notes you don't play that make you good. It's one of those pseudo kind of. It's like in some contexts you could say, yeah, that makes sense. But in most contexts that people use it, they just say it to try to sound like they're really smart when it comes to the drumming or guitar play, or whatever. You know, like. Most guitarists would just do this, but it's not the note. You know, I don't know. It just seems like those faux intellectual kind of things. You ready for Shadow I Am?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. Shadow I Am. Shorter song after those two kind of songs. Gotta be kind of. I love Fire Roses, man. Fire Roses is where it's at. so freaking good.
I'm going to go ahead and give this one an 8. My biggest issue with Shadow I Am is that part with the dun 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 when the soul in the opposite without a doubt. Dun 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 dun. Right before it goes into the solo part. I feel like that part just stretches too long. It goes, dun, 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 dun. Here, let me pull up the lyrics real quick because it'd be easier for me to. Like, it's kind of a mouthful. Not more than a gun to rule the world. More than a license for the fabric of my shade. Climbing out of torches I left without a mark. That's a lot before it goes into the solo. And I just feel like it...
Slows the song down a bit? Like or something?
Something like that. It just feels a bit like cramming it all into a moment when the moment should have been shorter. I feel like I would have been better instead of doing
just
the build up.
The first line and then let it all just freaking go. Because some of these words I don't really understand, but the first line I'm kind of like that'd be a good. That's a great line to just leave on and then just start soloing.
When he's like not more than a gun to the rule of the world and not more than a license for the fabric of my shade. I wish maybe for that it'd be just kind of because they start off. It would have been cool just to be kind of solemn and quiet and stuff, and then start going dun, 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 and building up maybe on the third and the fourth line. You know?
Oh, I see.
Like they start building it up
on the very like, and he's like talking like the build up is way too.
The build up is too long. Like, you cool if I play it?
I don't mind. I don't mind
because it sounds like Kevin, you're complaining about the stupidest minuscule whatever like. And maybe I am, but there's something about it that just bothers me with that section. Like, it's kind of the beginning, sort of. So we got some bass action. So we start with the second line. And then right into the solo. I just feel like that build-up is a little too long. I would have been happy if it just, instead of going dun, dun, building up and then having to go up again and then like just cut it short or something.
To me, I feel like the ambiguity in the lyrics also kind of drag it a little bit for me. Like maybe if it was a little bit more direct, it would help it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's like, I give it an 8, which is still really good. I still enjoy this song. I think it's a great song. There's just little things in here that do not connect with me the way that some of these other songs do, Yeah. And so, I'd understand if someone really loved Shadow I Am. I would get that,
Yeah.
But
I like it more than track 3, but not by much. I think it's a great chorus.
So you gave it?
I gave it an 8.
8 also?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's kind of a bit straightforward, I guess I don't have a ton to say about that song. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess
I'm like waiting for some Fire Rose Dance to hop on and freaking so I could just talk about how awesome that song is.
But anyways, it's still a great song, but
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Here's Fire Rose's Dance. I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
These kinds of melodies and stuff. This is like where it's at for me.
Yeah, this is a great song.
One day, when the fires eat the land,
And his voice is so freaking good.
Yeah.
and the widows start to dance, then it shows all the beauty in just one day. Why is it ever too late and why is it ever? Why is it ever too late and why is it ever too late?
but it doesn't feel like that long. But
Yeah. Is it my turn?
yeah, you're evens.
Alrighty. Well, I'm giving that one a 10. The way it's like constructed, and it's maybe the most poppiest in some ways, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe accessible is the right word. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I mean, we showed it to our mom, and she loves
That's
this
true.
song.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I mean, it's a ballad, but it still rocks out and has kind of a heavy section. I like the lyrics. I think that there's kind of like, to me, I interpret this sort of like loss of like, it was too late for you to see the beauty in the world, the wonderful things and whatnot, and it's kind of like a sort of forlorn song with that type of message. And I think it's pretty dope. And the piano is freaking beautiful. I remember we went to someone's house and we were like doing karaoke and stuff. And I remember singing this song. I sang it early on, so there wasn't that many people there. But it was just like I don't think I found. I can't remember if I found an instrumental version of this song because it wasn't on like the karaoke machine.
Right, yeah.
I was
of course.
I was just trying to like playing the song, but then trying to sing, like while the song played. And anyways, it was just kind of that was like I don't know, 6 years ago.
The thing, I guess I'm kind of
funny.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just feeling a little melancholic, a little reminiscing about the past or whatever. But like, we were pretty lonely kids when we were like teenagers and stuff because like we didn't connect with a lot of our peers. We couldn't, whatever. A lot of crap happens and everything. But music was there for us. Music was there, and it really cemented as being just this really important thing for us. And yeah, I love this song. It's very beautiful. And it just moves in a I don't know, just. Very melody driven, and it moves from point to point that I'm just kind of like, just take me away. I am just chilling and just take me away. And not much more to add, but yeah, I do give it a 10 also. This is probably my second favorite, I would say, on the album. Silently still number one, but still this one's really good. So
it's pretty dope. You ready for Somewhere Alone in the Dark?
Yeah.
Whew, are you feeling that freaking heat?
A little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Here at Forgotten Legends of Sound, we don't have a studio.
Yeah.
We don't got a fan.
Yeah, this fan is like freaking busted, so it's just like we can't make it work. And
it is what it is.
Jeez Louise.
You got 3 more songs.
Yeah, I know. I'll make it. I'm drinking enough water. I don't think I'll pass out.
But let us know. Let us know too. Like what you guys think of Vanden Plas. If they're a band that you're super into or not.
Yeah.
But
yeah. You ready for Somewhere Alone in the Dark?
Yeah. Let's
Here
do
it goes. This is one of those songs back in high school that I never would remember. It was later until I was like, oh yeah, that's like a pretty good one. I think in high school my mind would check out after I enjoyed some parts of January stuff, but it was like really like until later on in life, I guess. I like this part of the guitar though. Yeah. for mine. It feels like it should go into a 7/4 thing or something.
Maybe it does. I don't know.
Alright, Pain of Salvation. The ending of that, or what is that?
Yeah,
What are you doing that for?
I'm doing it because there was some live, I think it was one Cold Winter's Night.
Oh,
like they
okay.
ended a song and then Conch was like, and then like some kind of something.
I was trying to
can't
figure out why you
remember-
did that sound.
I can't remember what song or what. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that one an 8.5. I like it slightly a little bit more than Shadow I Am, and the thing that I like about this one is I like the triplet little kick. You know. Like it's got a good rhythm to it, and I like the way when he first comes in and he's just like, talk to me, you know, there's this urgency with this song that I enjoy. But I feel a little bit like the chorus might be a little bit stronger. It's a bit like just kind of, you know, like, I don't know. It's kind of a goofy, strange song in a sense, in some sense. But like, I don't know. I like this song, but it's just not my favorite. You know?
Yeah, I like it. I give it 7.5, but it's kind of on par with 3. Like, it's not my favorite on the album, and it's just not as like catchy as maybe some of the other tracks. It's still a great piece, but yeah, I think I said my piece.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
just doesn't
not
grab
much-
me like some of the other songs.
Yeah.
do, you know.
Talk to me. All right, January Sun.
Yeah, now this one's pretty darn good.
I like this one. This was like the fan favorite even back in like 2006 and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like people. loved
Everybody
this
was
one.
freaking out over it.
Yeah, this is the one that people love.
January Sun. Here
I
goes.
mean, I like it too, but you know,
Yeah.
I like Silently more.
Yeah. This little bit is just, I don't know, really beautiful.
By my side, I need someone to talk
Because I just murdered a guy and I don't know what to do, you know, I killed like 20 people. Because some of these songs feel a little disconnected from the whole revenge thing.
Yeah, I
you
feel
know,
like 567 take me out a little bit, and then
Yeah.
8 takes me back in.
That's a really good way to begin a song.
From the dawn, and I wonder, how a place could leave his
Yeah, that makes sense.
makes me see. This is our broken memories. I'm coming, but nothing else. It's closing your
side with them. Maybe it could be like January symbolic for a new year. Sounds like track one.
Little angel and soon
Dude, if I was their piano player, I would have butchered it.
I know you're like, you're like trying to get the like look at him for help, and he's just like, what the hell are you doing? You know,
It just seems like a section that can go back easily.
where the darkness meets the day. In the last lines
Oh man,
It just, yeah, I would butcher that. If
I would too. If I was the piano player, I wouldn't know how to time it out.
All right, bro, this is you, man.
By my side. Yeah,
I love when he says like, "Now I can see the light." You know, it's just fantastic. But
Yeah.
you go ahead.
This is one of those songs that's so close to a masterpiece, but it does have some flaws for me. Most notably, the middle of the whole rest 8 minutes of the song, except for the intro and outro. No, I do like. No, I do like the meat of the song, but I don't love it as much as like some of the other songs. But that intro and outro is so beautiful to me that I'm kind of like, that really raises it up a lot, you know? And plus, this idea in the little part where he says, "Come, little angel, sit by my side. I need someone to talk to because I can't see the light. I look for a guardian. Take my 1,000 sins away," are the last lines before he decides to pray again. There's almost like this idea of like, this dude's freaking done lots of evil, and he's finally like, you know, I finally learned to pray again, or even just like, I'm not consumed with revenge or evil anymore. I'm now, the only thing I'm consumed with is redemption, and the only one I could turn to is like an angel or God or whatever, you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of a cool way to introduce the song. I don't know if this is what that's how I'm interpreting the song.
Yeah.
I don't know if this dude is like, after he's done murdering people, he's like, you know, I don't really know.
One of those freaking flaying
Like-
himself like
Yeah.
freaking blasphemous.
Yeah.
Like, mea culpa. Well, I guess I need to be torn to shreds.
This budget turned into a tree, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
You know,
Oh,
like
man.
you know the what was the main baddie in that? It was called the. They were always
the
saying
red
like,
face dude.
they were always saying something like, "Oh, someone wills
The
it.
miracle.
The miracle
Yeah,
wills
they're
it."
like,
You know,
yeah.
so
says the miracle.
you know,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Like, miracle created this monster? Like,
yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. I think it's a beautiful song in parts, but it is too long. I'm kind of leaning between 8.5 and 9. Sometimes this song hits me a lot.
Yeah.
It didn't hit as much this time to me, and the lyrics, in some ways, I feel like the lyrics made more sense the first few songs, but now they've become so ambiguous that I find it
Yeah.
hard to latch on to certain ideas and whatnot, especially in relation to the story. But still a great song. So, I don't know, 8.5 or 9. What do you think?
I'm gonna give it 10, man. This is a fantastic song. I love all of it. You know, I like the build-ups and everything. I like the transitions. Let us know, those of you who know, because we're a little bit confused with the story.
I'm a little lost.
But like, part of me, can you go back to the lyrics? Because part of me feels like, you know, X and Zero are like the same person or whatever. Because there's like little parts in here that I'm just kind of like, you know, he's talking about how. Like, and I wonder how a place could leave his mind alone with me. And it's like, you know, when my brain works faster than the day before. It does feel like there's like an
figuring it out or
amnesia
something.
thing. And when I shut one door, I hear another open, you know. And then down here, it's talking about amnestia, Morse Christ Zero. Why is the gift to be free, this new identity? Something about this, especially when it's like X 735, now I'm Zero. It just feels a bit like the inspector guy is
The murderer.
the murderer.
And realizing
and let us know if like you're like, no, you guys are interpreting it all wrong, you know. But it
or
does.
if this is just like a play that like a 16-year-old is just like, I got the most brilliant song or brilliant idea for a movie, you know, and then they're just writing it out, and it just seems kind of hokey. It doesn't make sense. But
I don't know. I don't know. I do wonder if they are the same person, you know. But I do like this song, and I like just the it's a great song. I think they did a really good job, and a lot of like fans of Vanden Plas say that this is one of their masterpiece songs, and I totally understand why. Some people are like, nah, dude, Road to Jerusalem, and I totally understand why. Like it's just. Anyway, so it's one of those epics that they have that a lot of people have loved. They still love it, you know, and I could kind of see why, but
yeah,
I don't think it's my favorite epic, but you know,
it is a great song. I think I'm gonna give it 8.5 because
and we were talking through a lot of it. Like
we were talking through.
We were like looking.
I feel like in some ways I probably didn't appreciate it as much because I'm like really hot and I'm like my focus is not really there as much as it was in the first like 6 songs or so.
Right.
So maybe a part of it, the problem is me like not paying as much attention, you know.
Right. Yeah, it's your problem.
But, yeah.
You gotta do better.
Gotta do better.
Our fans expect us to do better.
My friend. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
let's go on to Lost in Silence, man.
Lost in Silence. Here it is. This one was a sleeper hit for me on the album.
Like,
I know.
Yeah, this is kind of a nice song.
Yeah. That's why I'm not making sound. You know, trying to headbang but not working. I love it. You're like that. Oh man, I love how I like went down and then it like went deep like a second later. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh man, that's
Oceans are down. Leave on the way.
That's so funny.
Kind of lackadaisical kind of song.
Why don't you come here and stay for a while? I hear the ferryman say, come sail away.
This is kind of long.
Come to the grave where we lost in silence. Come to the grave and
I know it now.
At least you know it now,
Yeah, I know. It was throwing me off, dude.
yeah. Like, why you guys adding an extra note or not?
did that chorus, I wouldn't make it 5/4 and then 6/4 time.
There's always
this
that,
is yours, Kevin.
there's always that, that slipped note.
Slipped note,
slipped
man.
note
It's
that always
slippery.
throws everybody out there.
It's slippery.
Slipped note.
Yeah, man, it's freaking tricky.
I do
Trickiness.
like that lyric when he's like, what is the system for building a monster? In my case, love was the key. I think that's a really cool line. It's like, gotta be careful what we turn into. Like
That was the key.
yeah. I'm gonna give this one an 8. I like it similar to like Shadow I Am. Like the thing about this album is most of the album for me is perfect except for like 5, 7, and 9. Those are the 3 songs that tend to sort of
Not be as strong.
Not be as strong for me. But this song's nice. It's lackadaisical, not like lackadaisical as like like in a hippy dippy kind of sort of way, but kind of lackadaisical in the sort of like, I'm done with all the torment. I'm done with all the pain. It just feels a bit more like, yeah.
Yo, they done.
And
yeah.
another thing that I do like on this is I like how he's talking about building a hydrosphere and stuff and
Filled with like tears of everyone.
yeah, the tears of everyone. Like he
City
says,
of water.
I built in there crying a city of water, drown in my new hydrosphere. Oceans you cry, please can you cry me away. It's just it's a pleasant song. I like it.
Yeah.
So
I should probably talk about the song before I start adding scores. I like it. I think it's an 8. It's an 8 or a 7.5. One of the weaker songs, but still, I'm going to say 7.5 actually. I think it's kind of on pair with Wish You Were Here and some of those.
yeah.
I really feel like this album doesn't dip so low. Like in a like there's nothing below a 7 on this album for me. Like the whole thing is really solid. Depending on my mood and depending on days, some songs are higher and lower or whatever.
Right.
I think January Sun might be a little low because I was just not paying attention as much. So maybe I'm going to bump that to a 9. But as a whole, though, I think it is a great record. I think I'm a little fatigued. But
we just did Premiere like literally 2 hours ago. So.
Yeah, exactly. So this one had the misfortune of being the second album we did today.
Right,
instead of just the first, when I had all my energy. But not much to say about the song. I think it's a great one. It kind of I know what you mean by lackadaisical. It's almost lullaby-ish.
Yeah.
But that's not quite right either or something. Yeah. I guess I could just start adding up the scores.
Yeah, I'm glad we went through this album. Like I said, it's an album I've been wanting to do for the channel for a while, and my next pick is going to be more a power metal album along. And so, but I'm glad we did this one. It feels like we haven't really done as much metal recently. Like we did Collective Soul, although we did do Sonata. But then we also did like, oh man, what was that one we did with the Asia singer?
Oh, Dukes of the Orient?
Yeah, we did Dukes of the Orient, and then I think you did like Till Tuesday and stuff. Like I feel like we haven't done as much like metal stuff, so it's kind of cool to jump into it.
Maybe today we raised our metal cred just a little bit,
just a little bit,
a little bit more metal cred that we.
But I'm gonna let you share your thoughts on the album. I'll do my closing thoughts, and then I'll kind of close out the video.
Sure,
because you're pretty much done with the scores and everything.
Yeah,
so. But
I am done. Alrighty, so for the scores, I'll add it up. Kevin gave it the higher score. He gave it a score of a 9.38, and I gave it the lower score. I gave it an 8.83. So the overall score we give Vanden Plas Cry Zero is a 9.1. So pretty dope, pretty high, respectable.
Yeah.
Closing out, I thought I would understand the album a little bit better because we were reading the lyrics, but I didn't understand it as much as I thought I would, I kind of know the general gist of the album and whatnot from listening to it over the years. Excuse me, sorry, the food. But I think it's a great record. I like all the musicianship. It's kind of in some ways, it's kind of a mood album for me. Yeah. It feels a little bit like Catatonia's Great Cold Distance because that's an album where I feel like it stays in this certain mood for the songs throughout its length. And I kind of feel like this one, Fire Rose's Dance, is the track that's the most out of the mood of this album. Yeah. The rest is kind of like in this sort of mood. So depending on your mood, you know, your enjoyment may vary, you know, but I think it's a great record, and I love Andy's vocals a lot. I think they're really good, and I like their lyrics. There's some great lines in there that we talked about that were cool. So yeah, I'm glad we went through it. Probably my favorite Vanden Plas record. Yeah, pretty dope.
And yeah, definitely support the artist, you know, buy the albums and everything, you know. I thought this is a pretty solid album. I do feel like maybe the first half, I'm a lot more into it than the second half, you know. And it's been like that ever since 2006. Just, you know, bam, bam, 1, 2, 3, 4 and stuff. And then, you know, it's just, yeah. And it's not to say that it's like a burden to get through the album. It's not. Yeah. But
it's just the highest highs are usually in that first half.
Yeah.
The little high moments.
But yeah, I think this is a solid album. You know, if I were to get someone into Vanden Plas, I'd start with this album. It's a great album. But Vanden Plas has always been the kind of band that's a little bit subliminal or a little bit, you know, underneath the radar. They're not a flashy band, you know, just kind of what we were talking about, like
in the beginning.
And so I don't expect people to just fully understand this band. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, yeah, all good. Because it does take repeated listens and, you know, some time to grow. So
definitely grow our band.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day, and you got the next pick, bro.
I got the next pick. Although we are also doing our top 100 metal songs.
Oh yeah, so stay tuned.
That's gonna be dope.
For that. Whenever we do it.
Whenever we do it.
All right, see ya.
Yeah.